It's the Sailor the Piper Man. Piper the Sailor Man. This is a true story. How my pipe and tobacco literally saved my life. I was stationed in San Diego, and we were doing on our way on a Westpac tour of Asia. I was on board the LPH-11 USS New Orleans. It's a helicopter platform carrier, and at that time, I had a brother station. I was allowed to sail with my brother. He was at Airedale, and I worked at a medical, treating the sailors, and it was it carried at least 2,000 Marines, and we were doing Westpac. Well, I arrived in the Philippines, and it was my first time in the Philippines, and it was really beautiful. It was very tropical, a lot like Puerto Rico. And we arrived. I was a newbie. I had no idea. So uh, some guys took me to Magsaysay Strip in Subic Bay. And in Magsaysay Strip, you had clubs all over the place: rock and roll clubs, blues clubs, and some great bands, and a lot of beautiful women that unfortunately made their living prostituting. And I wasn't into that, but I was so taken aback by the amount of little children asking me for money. I was in a basic third world country, and seeing the poverty and seeing uh, how the Filipinos survive on, in the economy that the U.S. had brought to Subic Bay area. Well, when you left the base and you crossed the bridge, there were these trikes or jeepneys, they used to call them, and there would be dozens and dozens of them, and they would be hailing you, or do you need a ride? Yeah, I didn't know where I was going. So one day I decided to go out on my own after I had gone out with the guys and they were drinking, and there was this punch. I forgot the name of it, man, that tore me up. So this time I decided to go out on my own. And as I went on my own, I decided, I'm gonna take a ride on one of these jeepney. There's a guy there who was always friendly to me. I walked by, seen him a couple of times. I had no idea that these trikes were gangs, various gangs, trike jeepneys. So I got on one, and I told him, ride me around. I wanna check out Subic Bay and everything. And he was talking to me and talking to me, and he was showing me around really nice. He said, "I'm gonna take you someplace special." So he took me to this gambling where they were gambling poker, and I walked in with him and two other guys that were at the door. I was curious. I had no idea that they were. I figured it was a naval outpost, and I was gonna get treated good and everything. And when I walked in, it was like there was cockfighting going on in one place, and they were gambling, pool hall. It's a huge warehouse type environment. So I went in there. When I looked around, I didn't see no Americans. I just saw Filipinos, and it was like a scene from The Deer Hunter. I walked in, and it was people were smoking up, and so I went in, and he ushered me into this room, and they were gambling, and the guy, the leader, the chief, or whatever you want to call him, was sitting at the other end of the table, and they were all smoking, I guess, marijuana or something. And hey, come on in, why don't you play a game or two? I sat down and played 2 or 3 hands of poker, and when I got up, the guy put his hand on my shoulder and said, "No, no, you can't get up. You got to keep playing until you win the money. You lose the money." There and then I realized I'm in trouble. These guys want my money. I don't know what section of the city I was, so I realized these guys are gonna either roll me or they're gonna take my money. And one of the guys was very upset. I was adamant that I wasn't gonna play anymore. I wasn't gonna lose my money. So I got up and I was confronted by these two guys. They were saying, we want your money. And I said, I'm not gonna give you my money. I don't care who you guys are. And one of them started getting physical, started pushing me around and trying to provoke me into a fight. And I just stood there. I said, look, I don't got much money on me. And I pull out my pipe. I said, you can have my pipe and you can have my pipe tobacco. At the time, I smoked Captain Black. That's why I love Captain Black so much. And one of the reasons, anyway. So I had a billiard, really long billiard, like Bing Crosby type billiard. It was made, I think it was made by uh, Wally Frank. And I said, look, man, you can have my pipe. It's worth a lot of money and tobacco. When I took the pipe and I took a tobacco, the chief that was sitting over there, he said something to them and they pulled back away from me. And he looks at me, you're not supposed to be in this part. This is a very dangerous place. What are you doing here? I said, I just told the jeepney to drive me around. I wanted to see your culture. I wanted to see your way of life. This is my first time here. I was really, really honest with the guy. And he looks at me, he goes, where you from? I says, I'm from America, but my parents are from Puerto Rico. He goes, oh, do you know you had the same independence on the same day? I said, no, I had no idea. He goes, he took me and he brought me to this other room. It was nice and plush. And you could tell they had money. He was the guy. He was the head guy. And he invited me to come in. And he goes, look, he said something else. And all the guys on the table, the money that I had put on the table to play the 2 hands of poker, they gave it back to me. I said, why are you giving me back? I played, I lost, that's okay. I have no problems with that. And he says, no, 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 no. I don't want your money. We don't want your money. I said, why? He says, you smoke pipe? I go, yeah, I smoke pipe. I smoke tobacco. He said, come with me. So we sat down. He pulled out a drawer of, he had a huge desk, pipes. He goes, I give you your money. I give you everything. We're not going to hurt you. I like smoking pipe too. And I said, really? And he had pipes. And he didn't know much about pipes. And I was telling him what that pipe he had came from, what that pipe he had. So we had this long discussion about Filipino history, Puerto Rico history. He goes, you're very fortunate that you have pipe and you have tobacco because I like you. I'm gonna make sure you get back to base nice and sound. So once those other guys there that really wanted my money were like, oh man, we're not gonna hurt this guy. We're not gonna roll this guy. And he was the guy in charge. And I sat there. We smoked a couple of bowls. I gave him some of my pipe tobacco, and he gave me this unusual leaf. I smoked it. Was high as a kite, and we became good friends. And he goes, once a week, come visit me. Let's smoke pipe. And that's what I did. The 3 months I was at Subic Bay, the trike guy was there, and he goes, "My boss wants to see you," and I would go, and we became great friends, and that's how my pipe and tobacco saved my life.